general sense, it's a theological term for the extraordinary graces given to individual Christians for the good of others. Some of these gifts are words of wisdom, word of knowledge, increased faith, gifts of healing, gift of miracles, prophecy, discernment of spirits, diverse kinds of tongues, interpretation of tongues. And these can all be divided into apostles, prophets, teachers, helps, which service the sick and the poor, or government, which is the leadership ability. There is a test online that you can do and you can get your kids to do to find out your top 3 gifts. We did this a few years back, and mine were leadership, discernment, and mercy. We could turn to 1 Corinthians 12, 4 through 11. Verse 4, there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. There are differences of ministries, but the same Lord. And there are diversities of activities, but it is the God who works all in all. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to each one for the profit of all. What that said, what verse 7 says to me is that because he's given each of us one gift, and it may be multiple gifts, it's for the profit of everyone that we use them in the right way and that we train up so that we may be able to help somebody that may have the same gift and they don't know how to use it, or we can help people establish what gifts that they do have. Verse 8, for to one is given the word of wisdom through the Spirit, to another the word of knowledge through the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another gifts of healings by the same Spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another different kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. But one and the same Spirit works all these things, distributing to each one individually as he wills. No one knows why they have a certain gift and why God gave that gift to them. But in the way that we use it is a way that getting to know him, he'll let us know, he'll send somebody that he'll speak through, that'll give us guidance on how to use it and how we use it for the profit of the church and how to help build up the world around us because it is broken. Amen. You see all these people, they walk the streets and they don't know what their purpose is or what God has for them. But it's our job with the gifts that he gave us and with the leaders that he gave us to speak to them and tell them, give them guidance on where to go, what the Lord is saying, and what his plan for them is.
Amen.
Amen. I will be coming from 1 Corinthians 12, verses 15 through 19. But now indeed there are many members, yet one body. Skipping over to verse 22. No, much rather those members of the body which seem to be weaker are necessary. Just because, that person looks different, or they talk different, or they do different stuff that you might not think is normal, that does not mean that, they don't have no purpose. They have no point in helping you. They have just as much purpose as you do in doing that task at hand. Amen. Amen. Verse 23, and those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, on these we bestow greater honor, and our unpresentable parts have greater modesty. And if our member suffers, all the members suffer with it. Amen. Or if one member is honored, all the members will rejoice with it. If one, like my mom, she always tells me, one bad apple spoils the bunch. Just because you may not have did it, you still probably gonna get punished for it, or you're gonna get talked to about it just in case that may happen, or to steer you away from that in the future. Going to Romans 12, verses 3 through 5. For I say through the grace given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly as God has dealt to each one a measure of faith.
All right.
But that verse really spoke to me because you see other people walk around with high egos on their high horse and they want to get mad and you knock them off of it. But it's just the fact that we were all made in God's image. We're all his children. So who are you to put yourself on a higher pedestal than me and say that I am nothing? Amen. Amen. Verse 4, for as we have many members in one body, but all the members do not have the same function. That's speaking physically and spiritually for individual and for the church. Individually, in the spiritual way, we are all one little speck in the plan that God has for this entire world. And if we mess up, it may throw somebody else out, and it may continue like a little domino effect until we have to start over because we've lost our way or someone taught us wrong. And it may have been on accident. We can't assume anything until God gives us confirmation. Verse 5, so we being many are one body in Christ and individually members of one another. I'll be coming from Ephesians chapter 4, verses 7 through 12. And y'all, I'm talking fast because I wrote 4 pages of this, so bear with me. But to each one of us grace was given according to the measure of Christ's gift. Therefore, he says, when he ascended on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts to men. Now this he ascended, what does it mean but that he also first descended into the lower parts of the earth? He who descended is also the one who ascended far above all the heavens, that he might fill all things. And he himself gave some to be apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers, for the equipping of the saints for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Christ. Everything that we do in this life is to be a betterment of who we are as people, who we are as Christians, and who we are in God's eyes. To us, we're not a mistake. Anybody who told you that, they have personal issues that need to be resolved, and we should pray for them.
Amen.
For the edifying of Christ, that's like, how would I say it? It's to help us understand more. It's to help us to understand more of him so that we can call him a friend one day, and to help someone else be able to cry out to him or speak to him without feeling ashamed or like they did something wrong based on how the way they were raised. I'll be coming from 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 10 through 11. As each one has received a gift, minister it to one another as good stewards of the manifold grace of God. It's like I said before, and I feel like I'm repeating, but it's because it's the truth. As good stewards of God, it's our job to, with that gift, tell somebody or minister to them, so that minister to one another. It's our job to share what we learn or how we understand, so that they might get the same understanding or get better understanding and can continue the good domino effect in a way that might help us better the world, change it, and fix some of the broken things in our lives or somebody else's life.
Amen.
Amen.
If anyone speaks, let him speak as an oracle of God. If anyone ministers, let him do it as with the ability which God supplies, that in all things God may be glorified through Jesus Christ.
Yes, God.
To whom belong the glory and the dominion forever and ever. Amen. 1 Corinthians 15, verse 58. We did devotion this morning, and it got to the end, and I looked at that paragraph, and I'm like, this is basically the point I'm trying to get across. We may not always have highly visible roles, yet we know that God is pleased when we obediently play our essential part in His plan, when we give ourselves fully to the work of the Lord. If someone says, oh, you can't do this, prove them wrong, and then that's like, I just thought of an example. That's like, you see a girl working the corner. You think, oh, she's been told her entire life you ain't gonna be able to do nothing but lay on your back. And it's the simple fact that that's what they're gonna believe because they've been told that their entire lives. So it's our job, if we see them, build them up. Build your brother or sister up, because you don't know what happened in their past, what's going on now, what's gonna happen in the future if you don't or if you do. You could be a positive or a negative effect. Just walking by and you see someone hurt, what would Jesus do?
Yes.
Me personally, I look back on the past and say, oh, I could have helped this person, and now I'm bettering myself at that because I see other people that have been either hurt worse or hurt not as much as I've been, and I look in the mirror and I see, oh, this is what I need to fix. This, if I fix this, and I can help somebody else fix their problem.
Amen.
Amen.
Matthew, the 5th chapter, verse 16. We will find value and meaning in our services as it brings glory to God and draws others to Him. Everything we do, starting now, or even before when you woke up this morning, everything that we do is getting wrote down, and God knows about it. He sees everything. But the meaning in our services is like you use your gift and someone else is using their gift. And they're not polar opposites, but it's the value of it, how much you value to do that job and do it to the excellence of God.
Yeah.
The meaning that we have, we might not understand it, but God understands it because He made us. And our services, how we do them can affect us, affect how someone thinks about God, how someone
Amen.
will affect others that they meet along the way of their life.
Yeah.
And even like the next generation. It'll be like generational curses. You do this, oh, it's going to pass on to the next and the next and the next. You do this the right way, and you'll break that so that others, I'm not going to say below you, but to continue on your lineage, they're going to know. It's going to be already set in them because you did this.
Amen.
I didn't get the exact definition, but for some of the gifts, like words of wisdom, what you say, you might think it's wise, but it might not match up to how the Bible says it's supposed to be, how God says it's supposed to be. So we need to learn more about, how can this help somebody? Is this going to hurt them? Or just what in particular? Because I know I'll speak out the side of my neck, and my mama done told me about that, but it's a simple fact that I'm still learning. I'm still taking these baby steps, and they're eventually so I'm running.
Yeah.
Amen.
For the word of knowledge. All of us are smart. Anyone that told us they were stupid, they have issues. But all of us are smart in our own way. You might understand this, I might not understand it that way. Teach me this way and I'll understand it. But it's because that you know you have that knowledge that I'm going to understand it and be able to help somebody else understand it. For the increased faith. Faith without work is dead.
Come on.
That's all I gotta say about that. For the gifts of healing, like my mom's a nurse. I see her help people every day, whether it be on the phone, in person. I'm peeking around the corner, she don't know about it, but I see everything that she does basically.
Amen.
And I take that in account of my life that she raised me in the right way. She still raised me in the right way and won't let me do anything I'm not supposed to do. But it's healing. Earlier, during praise and worship, I know somebody caught that. I felt it. It felt like a little burning in my chest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone got their breakthrough.
Amen.
For the gifts of miracles. All of us have our own definition of a miracle. Miracle could be, oh, this happened, that happened. But most of us be like, oh, this person did it. God didn't do it. Everything that we survived in this life